Holy shit, what's up? Creepers. And Geekers Chris, the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? We're going to settle in here real quick. Don't mind the setting. I actually, I broke down the studio. I'm not sure if you've noticed, I haven't really done anything in it in a little bit. My channel members got a video today about this. Over in the corner on the other side is still that. It's literally all Girl Scout stuff. So I'm still waiting for that to disappear before I maneuver a few things. The way I had it was cool, but it was like cramped, and I couldn't get everything up here that I would like to do these well. So that's why we haven't been in here. But everyone's home, and I really wanted to stream tonight to talk. Maybe clarify my video from earlier today, because I don't know if anyone really took it to heart or whatever, but if you get to where I knock the cell phone over, that's where I start getting serious, and that's my true thoughts. The things I said in the beginning, actually, they are still my thoughts, but they were an amplified and exaggerated form of my thoughts, and I was just literally just fucking having fun. I had just woken up, I saw the news, my fucking head exploded for 5 seconds, and so I moved on. But I figured I wanted to come in and stream tonight and talk, run some ideas, like things I didn't talk about in the video, and I guess they could be videos themselves. But stuff like, what now? What could be happening now? Ideas of things, whether they be here or not be here. You get what I'm saying. I don't have my glasses in here, for fuck's sake. Guys, give me 1 second. I won't be able to read the chat unless I have these things on me. Please excuse me. I am so sorry. I'm coming back. This is fucking why you guys watch, right? Because I don't give a fuck. All right, Mr. Shaw, Alan, what's going on? Jet Screamer. How is everyone doing tonight? You like this? You like that? You should see it against a white wall in the dark. It's awesome. All right, let's see. How the hell are you, Mr. Shaw says. Alan says, rip. Oh, really? No kidding. Oh, On Golden Pond. I haven't thought of that movie in forever. Wow. That's, yeah. How old were they? Do you remember? Or did they mention it? It had to have been in the 90s, right? So, Cloak and Dagger was a great movie. I'm sorry to hear that he died. Yeah. Cloak and Dagger is a fantastic movie. Matter of fact, I have I don't know where it is now. It's probably in a box over here. A reproduction kind of the 5200 card. The game itself is real sports baseball. I got it for 25 cents. And then I had a buddy of mine print me up the label. Most of my stuff is in boxes right now, believe it or not. We could talk about that at another time, but they're all literally right here to my right. Hold on. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. Oh, let's see. And of course, Tootsie. Oh, yeah. He was the boss, wasn't he? He was the boss in Tootsie. He was 92. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, he was a good actor. He was in a lot of stuff back then, wasn't he? Hey, oh, and for anyone who watches, I didn't aim the light on the television. The kid posted thing over here, the little canvas. I didn't mean to do that. I just didn't want this thing in my eye, so I shifted it slightly. But yeah, going back to the video that I put up this morning, please take the first half of it with a grain of salt. I still feel the same. I feel a little better about it now, but also understand that the article I was going off of was slightly different than what everyone else is reading off of Atari's. And you got to remember, again, I was just awake. So I wasn't thinking. I barely had any coffee in my system. And I opened up Yahoo because I use Yahoo for mail. And that was the first thing it said. I was like, wait a minute, there's no way. Because sometimes Yahoo Mail with the little news stuff can exaggerate things a little. Sometimes I wonder if it's fake, altogether. But I opened it up and read it, and then I was like, wow, there's no way. So I went to go onto YouTube, and the very first video I saw was Bacon Ice Cream Productions talking about it. And I know if he was talking about it, then it was so. So I went back to the article, read it, got everything together, and made the video. I don't know if I would say I'm actually upset about it. I was shocked. What are the words? Like, I didn't get a sinking stomach feeling, like one of those gut wrenching kind of, like if you find out, some bad news. Your girlfriend cheated on you, or, your next door neighbor's dog impregnated your son. I don't know. Nothing like that, but it was an unusual feeling. It really was. And I know it sounds so silly, but it was weird. So I was in one of those kind of off-kilter moods, but in a fun way. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of fucking fun with this. And that's why I put that little disclaimer. Watch the whole video before judging anything I say here, because I purposefully went over the top and didn't think about what I was saying. So most of the time I try to think of what I'm saying, unless I've, before, like coming on just now. But after you get past me knocking the camera over, I actually whipped it. I was hoping it would fall off the table. My phone's protected, so it's got a decent case on it, so I could... and from there on, take that part of it more serious than anything. I'm not asking you to go back to if you haven't watched it yet, or if you care to. I don't know. My video this morning is actually being streamed right now. I got notification of it, and I went in there. And I commented twice in the chat. But I got in there right when they're like, dude, we're not making fun of you. We think this is a great video, but of course we're going to make our comments, And I literally just wrote, it was there for fun. I got invited to the stream. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stream on my own. So, let's see. Let's get back to the chat. He was 92. That's a good run. Absolutely it is. On Golden Pond, that's another one. I can't remember if I've ever seen it. I think that's one of those movies that like I knew about but never watched. I'm pretty sure I've never seen On Golden Pond, but I know all about it, I'm excited Atari will keep Intellivision games alive. We will get there. We'll get there. Because I do want to do a lot of speculating. And I want to clarify, again, we're going to go back to the article I was reading, and that's important to get to the next step. But let me finish the chat and see what's going on here. Alan says, Immortal John Hancock also made a video about Atari buying... Oh, I haven't been subscribed to that cat for a long time. Maybe I should go check it out. I don't know. Now Atari has to buy Coleco. I was talking about that earlier. Loved your video this morning. Thanks, Post Style. I really appreciate it. So getting back to it, I'm reading the article, and it's the one from Yahoo. So they had said some things in an unclarification kind of way. They had said that the console, they almost implying that it was going to be taken over by Atari. And from there is where I'd like to continue. The video's there for you to go check out if you'd like. Please excuse me, I don't have an air sap in here yet, so it's a little warm and I'm dripping here. So I'm going to be doing this a lot. But as far as like the console and everything and games, and there's a lot of mystery around this thing. And I know it was somewhat clarified in all that, but it has come to obviously all of our attentions that Atari will not be moving on with the console, but more so playing with the games and everything. And I would love for us to speculate on other things Atari could do with the name. Am I excited? I'm not really excited about the buy. Does it really upset me? Yes and no. I mean, it makes sense. You know what it is? It's when you have two entities merging like that. I always look at Atari as this little fun thing, and the Intellivision Entertainment as this little fun thing. But now that they're doing big boy corporate stuff by doing mergers, or maybe it was a leveraged buyout. I really don't know how their finances were. I'm sure you guys could probably tell me more. I don't know if it was a leveraged buyout or if it was just an organized purchase or whatever the case is, whatever started it. Once the two melded together, my mind didn't look at either brand the same way. And again, that is the genesis for my video this morning, that first half. I wasn't really as upset as me. I was actually, that little meltdown on the floor was right here, right there, right next to my Mr. T800 skull. Maybe I should turn him on. I don't think he's got batteries, but yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird thought. I know Atari will treat the legacy of it with. Okay, so I said earlier that they're probably going to pimp it out with some respect. They'll treat the legacy of it fine. Um, but I think they mainly did it just to have the games. I'll be honest with you. I don't know any further into what what the negotiations were. But I mean, what else would you really want? If I were Atari, would I want the Amico project? Probably not. And not for any reason other than it's past. However, I mean, Atari could probably have turned it around. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But as far as being upset about it, I'm not really upset. I mean, does it change anything for me? Not really. But the way I understand it is now you have John, Phil, and whoever else. They are their own thing now because I believe they don't have the right to use the Intellivision name anymore. And if I'm wrong, someone correct me because I didn't do much research afterwards. I watched a bunch of videos, and then life happens. As a matter of fact, I got rid of my truck today. Cars for Kids, I donated it to. So there was no hope for it. I'm still pissed off about that whole deal. I bought a van to start a little business with it. Hit and run. Nobody had any cars available, and the only guy that got back to me in the truck ran like 3 fucking months. So, but I don't know. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. Bacon ice cream, what's going on, brother? I mentioned you earlier. I saw my article. I went to YouTube to see if anyone was talking about it, and your video is the one who hipped me to all of this. Hey, Bo Style says, hey, Rich. Let's see. I guess, wow, the glare is weird with that thing in the background. I guess now that Atari bought Intellivision, you can keep your Intellivision Amico console. I honestly don't know. I don't know. And we're going to talk about that, I promise you. Probably not how you think, but because I keep talking about wanting my Founders Edition. People are like, well, you got one. How can you be upset? And I'm just like, because it's not what I jumped into the game for. And that's something we need to talk about, too. Because since Intellivision isn't using that name, I bet you Amico is going to become the brand, the name, brand. And whatever they go forward with it, whether it be with the console or Amico Home or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Postal says, I'm happy enough about it. I think it's going to be a good deal if you just want to play the games. What would really be awesome, and the obvious thing, would be, and everyone keeps saying an Intellivision Plus. Well, the reason the other one was called the 2600 Plus is because it plays 7800. But it would be nice if they worked with the same company that made that and made a little HDMI Intellivision console that plays the cartridges. God, there's no real other option aside from emulation that I know of, right? Intellivision cats tell me. As far as I know, the only ways to play is online or in your computer and on OG hardware. So, Post says, already have Digital Eclipse. Okay? I don't know anything about Digital Eclipse and all that shit. I don't keep my ear to the ground. Everyone's like, I kind of saw this coming. And I had no idea Atari was gobbling up all this shit. The only thing about Atari I need to know is when the fucking Phoenix Hotel was going to open up. I want to go back to my old stomping grounds and spend a night in the Atari Hotel. And maybe buy an Atari Escort and play video games with her. Just play with my joystick. That had to be said, right? That had to be said. I believe they just own Amico now. I enjoy Amico Home. That's awesome. I wish I could do the smaller screen thing, and I know I can get a little box, I just have better things to do with my money right now, or maybe not better, but more important things, more responsible things to do with my money. Yeah. You know what? It might just become that, Amico LLC. If you look at the app, it's called Amico Home. It's not really called Intellivision Amico Home. I think they just got to wipe the Intellivision part off of the, But don't get rid of don't update your apps. let us say television for as long as you can hold out. I don't know. Mr. Shaw says, I hope so. Bacon Ice Cream says, woohoo! I finally caught a scoop. That's awesome, man. No, it is. You did a great video this morning, man. I'm glad to see you back. And I don't know if I messaged you or not. Things have been crazy, like extra crazy around here lately. In a positive way, teenage girls and all kinds of other crap. But yeah, man, I don't know why you were gone for so long, but if you need anything, hit me up. I don't have much, but I can get resources. Resources up the wazoo. I may not be connected, but it's still around. The biggest issue with the Iron TV is the same problem with the 5200. It's the damn controller. Yeah, 100%. 100%. But if they make their own little console, they can create the controller, It's simple hardware. And if they do that, those things better not fucking be permanently attached to the console. That's one of my biggest gripes with the Intellivision. And besides the disc, when I used to do those Sunday Night Lives, I'm sitting next to a bed and I have it on the bed. And every time I'm moving, the console's moving. And it's an old console and the RF cable just does not like to stay in. And it was such a nightmare because the cable's like only so long, Which way am I going? And it's coiled. And I get why they did it. It makes sense. But it's like it pulls. Such a pain in the ass, You know what I'm saying? Vern? Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, bacon ice cream, Richard. No problem. No problem. Hey, Richard, did you ever get that package I sent? I didn't even look up. I don't even think I have this tracking number anymore. But I never heard back from you. Not, no video or anything. I just want to make sure you got the fucking thing. I just sent one down to DJC too. You remember that console you sent me and I got it going, but it needs a memory stick? Since I got the Onyx all-in bundle for that $99 deal that you hooked me up with. And DJC had said a long time ago I don't have one. I figured since I'm using mine, I was going to send yours down to him. So now it has kind of a YouTube legacy. How cool is that? But that's on his way. He should have that in another day or so. I put a few extras in there like I do in every one of my packages. So your console's going to a good cause, my friend. I appreciate you donating it to me to get it going. It really wasn't that hard. I just sprayed a ton of deoxin on it. It was good to go. Except for needing memory. But Mr. Shaw says, 2 of my favorite 4 YouTube creators always got times. Oh, I'm sorry. Always good to... Give me a fucking second. I did just smoke. 2 of my favorite 4 YouTube creators, always good times. Absolutely. You want to talk about something with a legacy? An Intellivision game of mine. I'm pointing like it's still behind me. It's over there. Let's see. Chess Screamer says, did you get that thing I sent you? The Harvey Batman Attorney at Law. How long ago did you send it to me and where? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. It was a while ago, right? Big Ice Cream says, heck yeah, I did. Thanks so much. Yeah, things are pretty real when... Yeah, okay, man. Now, that's cool. I hope you guys are well, though. I hope everybody's, everyone's well and no one's needing for anything. Thanks for the extras. No problem, man. I always throw stuff in there like that. I can't see it because of the heart. That's something that's super cool. It's super cool. Glad it's going to go to a good home. Absolutely. What was I talking about before we got distracted about this attorney at law duck? Does anybody remember what I was saying? Let me grab a sip here. But either way, it'll come to me eventually. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking weird times. I mean, do they even really exist technically? It is what it is. But the console, yeah, going back to the HDMI console, I think that's one of the first fucking things they should work on. Besides, of course, getting the games localized to their little setup there. That's going to be tough, though. Again, the controller. That's going to be tough. Yeah, what the fuck could they do with it besides make it console? I wonder, excuse me, I wonder if they could develop a USB. I know there are adapters for the PC for Intellivision controllers. I wonder if they could make like a USB one, because the front of the the VCS does have the USB ports. That'd be interesting. But now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, there's a lot of games you absolutely fucking have to have the keypad. And I know, the VCS is a computer, but what if you and your friend want to? I mean, I guess you could get a splitter. Never mind. That argument's stupid. But I'm just saying you only have so many places to stick it in. And yeah, that's a tough one, coming to think of it, because that's what everyone's thinking. They're like, well, what's the reason? What's the end goal here? But maybe compilations, stuff like that. Everyone's talking about an Intellivision 50. Their 50th anniversary is in for what, another 2 years or something like that. I don't know, but at least a compilation, an online compilation, dumbed down for something like that. You would have to reprogram it, I think. I don't know. I mean, whatever was in that plug and play that goes for ghastly amounts of money, that worked out pretty well. I believe it did. I got rid of mine real quick, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Richie Skulls, what's up, my man? How you doing, buddy? Long time no chat. Something about marshmallows. Were they talking about marshmallows? I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. So Atari really does need to acquire the Odyssey 2 library now. KC needs to return. How ironic would that be? How ironic would that be? Because Casey Munchkin got fucked over because Atari went after him because they had the rights to do Pac-Man and all that stuff. Isn't that the case? I'm pretty sure that's how that went down. It's funny. Everyone's like Odyssey 2, and my first thought would be Coleco. That would be the greatest trilogy of fucking terror. You'd have all three of the pre-NES big boys all under one house. See, it just takes the piss out of the brand when you do that, though. I don't know. Jerome, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Loosely collected. Did I say hi to you yet? I don't know. If I did, I said it twice. But all I know is I want to play Moon Patrol, and I absolutely want to play Night Stalker, which is funny because on my news feed, do you remember that dude that used to digitally design limited edition? What was his name? Like Smiley or something like that? Oh, what was his name? Someone refresh my memory. But like every day he would come up with a new digital version, like a theme. In this case, it was a Night Stalker version of the Amico. I keep pointing here because my Amico is actually right here. But he used to make a lot of really cool looking consoles. Like for the holidays, he did a Halloween one, 4th of July, all that stuff. But the one he did for, excuse me, for Night Stalker came up as a memory today. What a fucking great concept. I took a screenshot of it, so maybe I can mimic it with something here in the future. I don't know. Oh, going back. Everyone's talking. Warning, this guy makes shit up. Who's that? Me? Who are you talking about, loosely? Richie Skull says, I saw what's that today? Excuse me. Not as rad as the first flick. Did dig it though. Right on. What was it? What kind of flick is it? Was it like a mystery, suspense, horror? I don't think I even know what the hell that is. I don't pay attention anymore. Film is dead. Movies suck. I know there's still filmmakers out there because I know a lot of local guys that are still involved in indie film, like actual film, but not using film. But there's a difference between a fucking movie and a film, and it's the classiness of it. I wouldn't call Transformers a film. That's a fucking movie. I'd call it Gen 2 Studios. Interesting. Alan says, do you have the Atari 2600 joystick controller plug-and-play keychain? No. Absolutely no. No, let's fuck that little... No. I know of it, but nah, I'm not into those little tchotchke things, honestly. I have the little Atari console that had the little TV. That's actually on my shelf with my ET stuff. I got this little ET shrine, and I just thought it felt right there. ColecoVision was a lot of arcade ports. Yeah, man, ColecoVision was awesome. Might be a lot harder for Atari to license. Yeah, actually, you're fucking 100% correct there. A lot of mystery behind the games. Again, it would just be obvious to port the games, but can't get away from that ugly fucking controller. Mr. Shaw says, but if you really look at it, Creep, there are all kinds of dead brands except for Atari in the eyes of the public. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Jerome says, hit the likes. Thank you, my friend. And everyone's saying hello to each other. Hello. Big Ice Cream says, hey, Jerome. Spud13. Glad to see you checking it out. It was Spud13. Did I see somebody in here that I didn't say hi to? Excuse me, I'm scrolling back. Alright, I guess I'm not understanding that. Mad Max? Absolutely. That kid was cool. Are you talking about the kid with the mask and all that? I was referring to myself with the middle shut up warning. Right, Coleco Joe, what's going on, my friend? Debbie Does Dallas was a film. It was a film. That's funny. There's a town just adjacent to me called Stoneham. Because we say Stoneham. And they have a movie theater. And I think they just use it for like an actual, like a theater thing, like for plays and such. But in the 70s and 80s, it was a porn house. And someone posted a memory picture from, I think, the early 80s, maybe late 70s. Whenever Debbie did Dallas, that was on the marquee. And I think Deep Throat was on there too. So cliche. It was such a cliche picture. Jerome says, I didn't believe Atari bought in television at first, but it's true. I didn't either until I like I said, I started reading the article, and I said, I got to go to the internet. I got to go to see YouTube, because that's where, and then our buddy Richard over here is the one who hit me to the news. I make film all the time. It's all over my glasses and my dishes. Oh my God. This fucking shit show. I love it. All about boner jams. Okay. The Farisa... I can't even say that. What is it? It's part of the Mad Max franchise. You know what? I didn't really get into those. I watched the first one and then beyond the second one. So the first one was Road Warrior, right? And then it was Mad Max Road Warrior Part 2. And I think I kind of stopped there. The first one, if you go on the lore of it can be boring. If you've never seen it and you're going by it's an action flick kind of thing, it can be real boring. And I remember not enjoying it that much. I wish I had, because it is a rad flick. But Popeye. Postel says, but the Atari porn games. Oh, maybe they can buy the name Mystique or whatever they were called. I don't know. Shaw says, I'm in Connecticut, never been there. Still adult theaters in Hartford. Really? No kidding. I'm surprised there's any theaters anywhere. To be perfectly honest with you. Mr. Shaw says, I don't think those still exist. They do exist. Whatever it is you're talking about. I can make it as Custer's Last Stand on Atari. Custer's Revenge or whatever it is. It's kind of a fucked up game if you really look at it. I mean, the least you could do is make a game where it's fucking consensual. I know they weren't selling it to kids. God forbid, but... See, Groton used to have an adult movie drive-in theater. How the fuck does that work, Jet? How does that work? You may not be able to hear it, but you can still see slapping, you know what I mean? Richard says, George Miller, let's see, Alan says, do you have the light up E.T. finger from the cereal box that you can put your finger and point and say, ouch? First, yes. Two, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's not from a cereal box. It was made by Knickerbocker, and I absolutely do have it. If you'd like me, I can go get it. Jeff Screamer says, that doesn't surprise me. Boner Jams, 2003 from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. You know what? It came to me. That's one of my favorite movies, too. It came to me afterwards. Mad Max, The Road Warrior. Beyond Thunderdome, I totally didn't get into that one. And then Fury Road was more recent, I believe, right? They leveled it and made it a super stop and shop. That sounds about right. They went from fucking chopping and... I'm trying to rhyme it. To stop and shop. Plopping... I don't know. Give me some jerk-off terms that rhymes with stop and shop. Railroad Savage ended up being Walmart. I don't know if I know Railroad Savage. Was that a chain of stores or like a strip mall or trap house? I don't know. The original director of the original Mad Max movies is remaking Mad Max movies. Well, someone wants his glory back, I suppose. Those ain't mayo stains. And yep, absolutely. I like Buicks, man. My dad had Buicks when I was growing up. They were company cars, believe it or not. I didn't know I was too young to even be around there. Oh, right on, man, right on. Fury Road, thanks, Lucy. I was shooting blanks. Are we still talking about that? Once you saw Custer's 8-bit, she consented. I don't know if I want to make jokes about S.A., man. I go far, but there's some lines I don't cross, but that's fucking funny. Get the finger. I got the light up E.T. finger from a cereal box. Maybe we're talking about different ones. Stop and Shop, Cock and Block. Yeah, maybe Knock and Cock. There we go. It went from a Knock and Cock to a Stop and Shop. Thank you, Richie. You are my fucking muse, brother. Railroad Savage was even junkier than Ollie's or Job Lot. Man, we got an Ocean State Job Lot on Route 1 over here. All right, let me go get that finger for the kid. I'll be right back. Don't take that disrespectfully. It's just how we talk in Boston. Everybody's this fucking kid over here, you know. They want to see my UT penis. No, I'm getting something. I got my ET penis. All right, Schween time. This is the one I'm talking about. It was made by Knickerbocker. And it got recalled for obvious reasons because it looks like a prick. And you would put your finger in it and there's like a little button here. And they made this for little kids. I got this Christmas of '82, you know? And I could never quite get in deep enough, you know? Same as a child, same as an adult. You know what I'm talking about? But this is a grail item that I was able to acquire through one of the rad motherfuckers in this chat. One of the rad cats in this chat. And if you don't mind me calling you out, let me know. But that's the one I got. Maybe I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look, cereal box ET finger. You know, after that happened, they took it out. They actually made this hand, an ET hand, that was even creepier. I mean, it didn't look like a dick, but it was fucking gross. It looked like an old man put his hand up a cow's ass. Oh, all right, let's go back. Stop, Shop, Rock and Cock, Railroad Savage. Hey, Billy Ho, what's going on, my friend? How are you? This chat is out of control. That's how I like it, dude. That's how we do around here. In my 20s, I worked at a video store that rented porn. Most of them did, to my knowledge. Like, some of them would have, like, separate rooms. But I used to go to this one called Movies on Video down at the Towners Plaza next to the Friendlies. and they had a cabinet that you had to have unlocked, and then we had like little curtains so like little kids couldn't see what you were trying to pick out. I remember it was open, and I stole a one called Nikki Never Says No. I just fucking reached in and shoved it. I didn't care what it was. My luck, it would have been something fucking crazy, but it was one called Nikki Never Says No. And the only thing I really remember about the thing is the chick just stared at the camera the whole time. She just stared at this fucking vain bitch. But Mr. Shaw says, sorry, creep. Don't be sorry if you're talking about the chat being out of control. He's giving you the finger. Hey, man, that ain't just Boston. That's an Irish fucking thing. Right on. Okay. That's all. I always attribute it to here because when I lived in Rhode Island for a short period of time, and they kind of got it. And then when I moved to Arizona, I would say shit like that. I'd be like, hey, kid, what's going on? They'd be fucking, I'm a grown-ass. Stop fucking puffing up, you fucking bitch. We all know you're a tough guy. Settle down. So that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people get fucked up when I say that. I'm a grown-ass dude. Some asshole got that. Yeah. Okay, so we all know who got the finger for me, right? Richie Skulls over here. Good dude. I've known him for a while. A toy trading kind of thing. I got you a bunch of wasn't it like no, it was Indiana Jones stuff. Oh, I knew you meant asshole. Cause Susie won't let her room now. Loosely says we just started getting Ollie stores. I don't think we have any Ollies around here. I see all the there's this one channel I can't stand the fucking dude's tone, but somehow I get sucked in every time. World-class bullshitters. Whenever he does his dead Star Wars toys thing, I'm looking at everything going, I fucking want 3 of those. I want 4 of those. Holy shit, what do you mean this is garbage? I know 50 guys right now that would buy that. Can't stand that dude, but I get sucked in, maybe to see the toys, but yeah, I don't know. Big Lots was like in the late 80s to mid-90s. We have an Ocean State Big Lot, and I don't know if they're the same company or not. I actually worked at it part-time for a little bit as a side gig. They used to be over... Okay, so for the Mass Cats over here, it's a town called Saugus. It now has a Target, and it used to be a Ocean State job lot, but that part's empty. When I was growing up, it was a Purity Supreme grocery store and a fucking Caldor. Camaro, what's going on, my friend, man? You didn't have to delete whatever that was. You didn't have to delete whatever that was. You know we're fucking cool here. That will turn your head light. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. I'd like to hear from the women who used this as a dildo. It's really not that thick, though. I mean, I suppose if you're inexperienced, we'll just say that, a little virtuous. I don't know. I wouldn't even trust the rubber to go in there. The acidic nation of the vaginal fluids. Where the fuck? We're supposed to be talking about Atari and Amico and all that crap. There's probably 15 people sitting back going, come on, dude. I need shit to make fun of you for. This ain't enough. There's going to be a new Riddick movie called Riddick. Oh, really? No kidding. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. I'd check that out. We had more porn than we had regular videos. How funny is that? We're near the Navy base. Okay. 10 foreskin to that. My light up ET finger has been like when they pointed at Elliot and said, ouch, his finger lights up. Yeah, this one here, you have to press it against something. And it forces the light mechanism onto your finger, which has like just a regular button, momentary switch. Ah, you fucking sister's cunt. I remember seeing Edward Penis Hands in our local. I've never seen that one. Guys, you know what? Honestly, not really into the porn thing. I never got into porn. I never got into strip clubs. All my buddies wanted to go to strip clubs, especially on like amateur night. And I'm just sitting there, and you're like, fucking dude, you pay $20 or $10 to get in, right? And they force you to have a drink in front of you at all times. So you buy a couple of beers, you and your buddy, And there's almost $30 right there. And then some chick comes out and she gets naked. We're in a state where they can get completely naked, even if there is liquor. Other states have weird, like if there's hard liquor, they can only be topless. And fucking, I thought this was America. We won't see some titties and some bush. But, you know, and you spend $200, $300, $400 to get a fucking hat on. And almost drunk, you know. And then another girl comes out. It just gets boring after a while, to me anyway. Maybe I don't like coos anymore, but it's just, all right, the first chick came out, and you're like, yeah, that's hot. And then the second chick comes out, and you're like, yeah, it's still hot. And then after, I get bored. Oh, my God. Forrest Hump. Oh, my God. You guys are killing me with these fucking porn names. Oh, and my E.T. finger is smaller. I'm sorry to hear that. If it's smaller than mine, then you got fucking problems, kid. Bimbo's 95. Oh, shit, everything's just young. Fuck Caldor shit. Fucking Caldor. Yeah, right? The big... I fucking vomited. No, I'm sorry. That was a shoe store in Reading. Billy O says, ha, 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 ha. Tesco. So what is Amico? So wait, is Amico dead now? Okay, so from what little I'm hearing, the project is still ongoing for whatever you want to take that as. But I don't really know. I don't know. The general consensus is it is, and that's everybody else around everything. It's my understanding that the folks who were in television entertainment can't use the television name anymore. So, I don't know. I really don't know the exact status of any ideas around that. I'm just going to say no for now. Because no one's come out and said, we're just giving up, we're done. And that's where I'm coming from. I'm going to give it 50-50. Still waiting for mine as well, buddy. We were talking about that earlier. I mean, I know I have one here, but it's not my, you know. Oh, yeah, we do need to get into that, too. We do need to get into that. Should the Amico come out, it's not going to be branded in television, and for a lot of people, that's a big no-no. That was the appeal, you know. For me, honestly, it's always been about this once I got my hands on one at the Boston event. It's always been about the controller. But without the Intellivision branding, it kind of loses the piss, you know? Camaro says, has anybody heard what the hater... Okay, hold on there. Guys, shut up. Crowd has to say about Atari's acquisition. They're using it to say that everything about Amico is dead, which I don't think is true. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that's wrong or right because I don't know. I recently watched the Riddick movies. I was not expecting to like them as much as I did. You know, hey, what's up, Ordo? Thanks for coming in, buddy. You know, I did the same thing, but with the John Wick flicks. I just haven't seen the fourth one yet. I really didn't think I was going to like them. I watched them twice in a row. I watched 1 through 3 and then watched 1 through 3 again. They were all on Netflix a while back. I don't know if they are now, but... strip clubs are boring. Who hasn't seen a set of titties before, right? We used to... My buddy loved going to Amateur Night, this one place called the Cabaret on Route 1 in Peabody, I think it is. And I remember once, two really important things happened there, which was fucking funny. This one chick, she's doing her thing, she bends over, there's a fucking string hanging. I was just like, you get the fuck out of here, you nasty bitch. Now, I got no problem with menstruation, don't get me wrong, it doesn't weird me out. But if I'm going somewhere to have a few drinks and catch a fucking Woodrow, I really don't want to see a string hanging out. But we went, it was like Tuesday nights, I think. It was either Tuesdays or Thursday nights. My buddy Jeff and I. And he's staring, he's drinking his beer, and he's watching this one chick dance. And she, out of nowhere, just stops and goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?" to my buddy. Only him. Training model fingers. Still waiting for mine. Yeah, I'm still waiting too, buddy. We're all waiting. You know what, honestly, and I hope happens in all this, and I did mention it in the video. And when I say stuff like this, I'm not talking against my buddies. I'm not talking against former Intellivision. I'm just going to call them Intellivision for right now, okay? It's just too confusing not to. Is I know they were in a pickle and they weren't able to get a lot of the refunds back. And I hope this remedies that because I really do think that should be paramount. I've said it multiple times. I think that should be paramount, if any, unless they have a way to take that money and make it more. But I don't know how business works. Nor do I care. I hope that at least does that. Has anybody heard what the hater? Okay, we just did that. But from my understanding, the hater crowd is just using it to say the Amico is dead and in the grave, and yeah, that's it. And saying it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, whatever their actual opinion is. But mainly, I'm hearing them talk about Amico itself, and it's sad that an entity like a television entertainment can be kind of funneled into just one thing, and everyone's gonna look at me and be like, "Well, that was the whole thing." I know, I get it. But when you think about actual television, there's games to be talked about. There's more to it than just our Amico. You got Amico home now, and the controller is supposedly trying to come out, and all kinds of stuff. And I hear there's something jammed up with that too. I don't know. Not from anyone from the. I was actually on Papa Peach stream. I think it was Retro Advisory Board. I can't remember. Said that in the chat. You should get a lighter. A lighter. Why do I need 2 lighters? I'm just kidding, Allie. That when you're trying to light something, a dick pops out instead of the film. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've seen more better TNA at regular clubs. Yeah. The strip joints and more. I used to work at this place called the Town Line Lounge as a bouncer. A lot of titties in there, man. Oh, man. The ability to act like a creep? I don't get it. Yeah, me neither. I'm always a creep, though. James Cameron took forever for Avatar 2. I've never seen Avatar 1. I have no desire to see it. I don't know why. Network, I gotta grab samples, be back. Alright, man. Grab one for me, too. Tight buttholes. Amico Vision. That's what people have been saying. No, actually, they've been saying Atari Vision. Would be a good new name. Yeah, I don't know. If they rebrand and follow through with the console, I think just using Amico as the new, Amico LLC or something like that. Amico Games or, whatever the case is. Or maybe just strictly Amico Home. I don't know. But that's that. Okay, let's live in a hypothetical world and say they are working on the console and the founders units are going to go out. I really wanted to talk about that. And while it's still in my fucking gray matter, let's do it. I will get to the comments. I'm like way backed up. I'm sorry, guys. I try to do every one. I know it's impossible in chats like this, but I at least try to give it a shot. But okay, remember everything that was going to come into the Founders Edition box. The lenticular poster with the Running Man, and that would say the word Intellivision. The console itself has a Running Man logo and the word Intellivision on the shit on the bottom. And there's a lot of the word Intellivision inside that box that I don't know if they'll still be able. Like the Running Man logo went to Atari. So the lenticular poster itself, I don't know. Unless they would have to have had a side agreement saying, look, can we at least fucking do this? I would hope so. Because if they are planning, and it's my instinct to say they are, but I can't say either way what's going on. I'm not a fly in the wall there, but yeah, I would hope they would have made some kind of agreement to at least package it the way it was meant to be packaged. Maybe the console not necessarily has the Intellivision branding on it, but I don't know. Someone tell me how you feel about that. Because I'm looking at this, well, I can't see it in the dark, but the console I have next to me, it has Intellivision branding on it. And there's, I don't know how many of these, I'm going to guess 25. It could be a lot more, I don't know. They're going to become, I'm not going to say valuable, but they're going to be like video game oddities. And if Amico comes out without the Intellivision branding, that I think would jump it a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think it would jump it, and I'm not worried about the value of the thing. It has no value to me whatsoever, aside from I'm lucky enough to actually play the games, and my family's been enjoying it. But I don't hold any actual financial value to the thing. It's a hunk of plastic that will probably go back. I'm assuming, but you're very lucky to have an Amico console. I hope they let you keep it. Everyone keeps saying that. Well, no, I appreciate the I'm lucky. I am 100% lucky. I'm blessed. But the keeping it part, yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that says, yeah, I'd like it. But if they ask me to send it back, I'm not going to argue or anything, and it's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm absolutely going to miss the controller because that's what I signed up for to begin with. And I'm talking about wanting Moon Patrol, the new one, by the way, and Night Stalker. The whole reason I got into the whole thing was because of this. This is what sold me at the end of the day. I mean, I was for it anyway, and I had a feeling that the controller might be a little goofy. That's what I was thinking, you know? And I believe I told Tommy that after I got to experience holding it for the first time. I looked at him and I said, you know, I really didn't think I was going to like this. I didn't fucking think I was going to like it. So to me, those games are associated with that specific controller. And without that, it's still going to be a fun game. That Moon Patrol thing, I mean, we played it on our cell phones for a while. I've never played I don't know if it was on any of the consoles at the event, but I've never played the Night Stalker either. And neither one of those games are on my console. So, but yeah, playing the games will be cool. Remember when they first sold off a few of the games and they said I was upset because it wasn't exclusive to, you know? It's kind of like that too. But I embraced it. Said, you know what, at least the games are out and people are playing them. And I finally came to, not terms with it, I flipped ship, so to speak. And I'm on the side of the games going out there. And I would still love to play Moon Patrol and Night Stalker as they were intended to be on the console, regardless of the controller. But it's gonna feel a little less, if that makes any sense. Dad72, how are you? What's going on? I didn't mean to do that. What's going on, man? Billy O says, here's an image for you. I'm sitting here watching this, eating a frozen chocolate banana. Oh, hey now. Hey now. Oh, shit. Everything just fucking jumped. I'm sorry, guys. I only care about... I'm going to just read random ones. I'm sorry if I missed your question or comment. If you want to repeat, go right ahead. Order Necro says, I only care about Amico because I had this fantasy about a B-tier console war with the Atari. Absolutely, man. That would have been awesome. As a matter of fact, it kind of started off that way. I mean, how many Founders Edition orders are there? 2,600. And he literally said, I'm doing that to poke at Atari. You know, I said in my video, remember the days when I used to be like, Atari, you fucking frauds and all this shit, and that console's never coming out, or I've been playing one for a long time now. Well, I say I've been playing one. It's been in my house for a long time, but yeah, how funny things happen over the turns of time, the winds of change. I also want to try the Butcher Bay game. Right on. Gutter Bounce, Richie says, good times, creepers. Hey, thanks, Richie. I really appreciate you coming by, buddy. Hit me up later on. Text, don't call. I fucking hate phone calls. I just wanted to play in television games with that controller. It's a great idea. Yeah, and you know, I feel bad for those who were excited about this that might not get to experience the controller. You know, I know everyone says that. It's about the controller. And it 100% really is. It really is. The controller is what has most of the allure for me anyway. It's just very interesting. I didn't think I was going to like it. And once I started playing Astro Smash and a couple of other games, I did play Moon Patrol on. I did actually, because if you remember correctly, Tommy took the controller away from me and fucking destroyed that level, you know, and then threw the controller on the ground 2 or 3 times to prove that it wasn't going to break. I haven't tried that with mine, and I don't think I fucking will. I don't need Running Man poster. Just give me my wood grain Amico. Maybe I just need to settle for that. You guys got to understand, this is the very first thing I ever truly backed. It was my first pre-order, you know. I felt very strongly about it. I was very confident in it, and I still am, you know, as what it's supposed to be. I'm still 100% for and on board, but I'm also the kind of guy, it's like that's what I signed up for, you know. Whatever it comes with, I will be grateful to have if they do get the at least the founders out. I guess I don't know. I would like for everyone to be able to experience it if they want to. But Earl Necro says I want Atari to produce an Intellivision mini console. Yeah, I was saying that earlier, like the Atari Plus, but they can't really call it that because there's no plus to it. It's just going to play Intellivision games, whereas the 2600 Plus plays that in 7800. And, all right, we get it. We get it. Mr. Postdow says, I don't need running. Okay, we just did that. Oh, wood grain. Okay, so, all right. I'm just going to throw out there. I'm just going to throw this out there. Let's say this console here does become mine. I think what I might do is have it hydro dipped to look like the one I was originally going to get. That's not in stone. It's been on my mind, though. It really has been. Because I was watching hydro dipping videos. I'm like, you know what? I bet you I could turn that thing into the wood grain one. With a nice hydro dip. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Alan says that. Okay, so you guys talking amongst each other. Raptor 251 house. Did you hear Tommy is selling his house? Someone mentioned it a while back. It's none of my fucking business. If he wants to sell his house or not. But I've heard rumors of it, but I don't know if I want to speak more on someone's private life. Even if it wasn't Tommy. But I've heard some talks about it, but I have no idea for sure. It's good. Okay, you guys are talking. I'm actually watching this. Stop talking! On my VCS. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you like the thumbnail, man? It took me like 15 pictures to get it right, and it still doesn't look like the way I wanted it to. I want Cloudy Mountain, Moon Patrol, Night Stalker, the Amico version, Breakout. You know what? Yeah, Breakout. I forgot about that one. Astro Smash on the VCS. I really want Astro. You know what would be really cool? If Astro Smash came to the VCS, and you could play both Astro Blast and Smash on the same console. How cool would that be if they were both available? The M Network is available though, right? I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Tesco says, I wanted the wood grain one myself. Do you have a pre-order, bud? Oh, wait a minute. Didn't you ask me about the pre-orders earlier? You'll have to forgive me. I got bad brains. I have a memory issue from being punch drunk, so to speak. Kicked in the head a few times, you know, that kind of. I was a corrections officer. I got in the scraps all the time. Let's see. And I'm back, Richie says. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming back. Hunter, what's going on, my friend? How are you? How are you doing? Postal says a new Intellivision flashback mini. You know, well, if Atari was smart, they would do what they're doing with their brand. They're making some little more expensive stuff, and they're making the cheapy stuff and everything in between. I think they should go that route. Get a little bit of money into, get a couple little handhelds for the simple Intellivision games you don't need the stupid keypad for. Make a few bucks, and then work on their version of, their little HDMI console. Figure out the controller, maybe improve upon it. But the flashback stuff, I think I would still leave alone, but I don't know. Mr. Shaw says hydro dipping is weird, man. I've seen how that is done, and it makes zero sense to me. I know about like marbling and stuff like that, like Steve Vai's guitars and all that. That's random and it's chaos, but you're right, man. They could take a full picture and put it on someone's helmet. Fucking, it's voodoo is what it is. It's supernatural. Jerome says, I'm all for an Intellivision mini. Yeah, right on. Absolutely. We'd be stupid not to accept it. Really. There's not many ways to play Intellivision. More like ass to smash. Am I right? Yeah, I guess so. It's fun. It's fun, man. Both the original and the Amico's version, and of course Astro Blast, which I like better anyway. But it was one of the games I had for my console back when I was a kid. And it was one of those ones that actually literally made me forget everything around me. It's a great game. I love it. Absolutely love it. Hunter says, doing fine, Creep. How about you? I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. We're here speculating and pondering the meaning of life as it pertains to Amico and the Intellivision brand and all of the above. Digging your background, brother. Really rad. Thanks, man. You know what it is? It's one of those little astronaut fucking projectors. I can do, those too, but it ends up in my eyes. So, I meant to turn it off. Ends up in my eyes. Once I get this, straightened out in here, we'll get it going. I'm going to try to get a better webcam too, so we'll get it doing. I'm still an FPGA Atari Classic Console 2600 Plus with a piece of poop. Was a piece of poop. Really? Really? You didn't like it, huh? Digging your background, brother. Cool. Thank you, man. Great game for sure. Astro Blast, that is. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I think it sounds better. I know the hardcores are going to be mad about that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I was on the Tinker Talks, and I've been wanting one of these for a long time. And this one guy's like, mine's only $5, so I clicked on it, and I ended up getting it for $2.40 plus shipping. It was like $12 altogether. I really didn't think I was going to receive anything, but I figured at $12, whatever. And it showed up, and I'm digging it. I use it in the dining room when I'm just sitting there doing whatever for the night, Oh, Wade gonna call out like Oprah. You get an Amico, and you get an Amico, and you get okay. You get an Amico. Okay? I got it. I'm slow. I'm fucking slow. I think I'm caught up. Oh my god. But yeah, man, the fucking the branding is gonna be weird. There's a lot of people out there now. If you watch Papa Pete's like 1 hour stream. Cyrus was on there. Like a Cyrus. Brian's Man Cave was on there. That poor guy was sick as fuck. He looked like death. Not not physically, like he was just... Yeah, I believe that. That kind of thing. I'm like, the dude just made a video and it was sick throughout the whole thing. Go to bed, dude. Go to bed. It's consoles. It's not that fucking important, man. It's not that important, but... Those guys were talking about, it was the Intellivision branding that they were excited about. And now that it's not possibly going to have it, that they're pretty much out. They're out. Not all of them, but that was the biggest, I think that was the biggest topic in the chat anyway. Hunter says, are old Atari consoles and Atari games cheap? Depending on where you are and who you're buying them from. I know around here they either go reasonably priced or they're super expensive because people think because it's old. They got gold, but no. I really wouldn't pay more than $50 for any Atari console. Unless it's a heavy sixer, and also, condition is important. And you have to make sure they've tested it. If you can test it, what a good game. I think I did a whole video on what games to use to test an Atari with. But games like... Excuse me. Try to find games that use everything. Space Invaders is a good one, stuff like that. But excuse me. But and most of the games should be fairly inexpensive. However, now that Atari's actually been having some momentum, and I'm starting to see a lot of new Atari cats out there, because of everything that's been going on, especially the Atari 2600 Plus. Prices are starting to... But most of the games you can get for under $10. Honestly. And there's a lot of bad games, but a lot of the common ones are fucking fantastic. Like Yaz Revenge. Between that and, Pac-Man, you don't get much more common than that. Excuse me. Mr. Postal says, it's the new Atari. I love them, but they will definitely milk this. Yeah, I was saying that. They're going to milk it for what it's worth, but with a little bit of respect, I'm sure. Let's obviously appealing the network for special edition cartridges. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a video about stuff like that. Actually, Gen X Grown Up, John, made a video last week talking about Atari and whether or not, the whole, well, it's not, the Atari of, and he made a very interesting point. I'm going to make a response video hopefully tomorrow to it. I have notes and everything. But he made this point saying, look, the guys who ran Atari before ran it into the ground. Like, you're not invested in the people that's behind it. What you're invested in is the product itself. And I'm like, you know what? That fucking makes sense. And you know what? This modern Atari just can't be what Atari used to be, or a lot of video game companies used to be. I mean, Sega's gone. I mean, a whole bunch of them are gone, But they're still out there bobbing and weaving and throwing stuff out there. And the way he put that, I consider these people Atari now. Whether you consider me, a trader or whatever, to the pre-Warner Atari. Once Warner got in the fucking picture, it was the product. It wasn't the people. It wasn't the fucking people. They didn't even give a shit about the people who made the product. I believe the term was, the developers are no different than the dude mopping the floor, or something to that effect. So, if you look at it that way, it's like, so okay, now what are you really admiring? And you say it's not the Atari of yesterday. Well, thank fucking God it's not. Thank Kazar and all those fucks. No, but I think this new entity of Atari has proven themselves, and I think they're doing the right thing. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, the console thing was a bit of a fuck, and it went south, but it came out. And, I mean, it was a low-class PC that had a real pretty case around it. So what? But I think they're on the right track, and they're doing right by the brand. I think they're doing right by the legacy of the brand, and I think they're doing very well with it. I look at them just as Atari as the past entities, you know what I mean? And think about it this way. Even if it was the same lineage, those people wouldn't be there anymore, so it would still technically be a whole nother company, even though, the name carried on or whatever. I hope all that made fucking sense. But I think John was really onto something. I really love that channel. He's a really good dude. Really good dude. I hope he becomes really successful on here. I believe he deserves it. If you're not subscribed to Gen X Grown Up, you absolutely should be. See, do you have an Atari XG1 light gun compatible Atari 8-bit computers? I do not have that light gun. No, unfortunately. I used to have the XEGS, but I lost the fucking power cord to it, so eventually just got rid of it. I don't know. It is what it is. The info I get about any old school gaming is from you, Chris. But I'm with you on merging companies. Usually it ends up in a shit show. Disney. I had one guy freaking out on me. I'm like, dude, it's not even about that. I just use it as an example to say I don't like it when things aren't its own thing, And it, going back to what I was saying earlier, it was quaint having Atari in television. And now that one absorbed the other one, regardless if they still run it separately, it just loses something, It loses its fun charm. Now it becomes a big boy business thing. And it's not that they weren't in business to make money, It's just, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Loosely's back. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for coming back, my man. How are them samples? What kind of samples are they? I respect the point. I'm sorry. I respect the point on Atari trying to keep shit alive. Absolutely. Think sometimes you just gotta let it go. Rolling Stones, yeah. I think people obsess too much on the stupidest shit. Really, And there's a lot of arguments that I just fucking think is stupid. Like now, given what I just said, it's not really Atari. It's Atari now. It's Atari. The same people don't work for it, but they're doing better for Atari than Atari did for themselves. Believe me. Nintendo has been around for 100 years. They used to make playing cards, I believe. They started out as a playing card company. Loosely says the VCS 800 is cool. It really is. It's cool. I hate the name, but thinking back to the conversations we had about Microsoft dumping consoles, digital only, and Game Pass will be nothing for retailers to sell. Yeah, yeah. I think retail is going to probably go by the wayside in the next, I don't know, couple decades. I don't know. Do you think there'll be physical stores in the next 50 years? I don't know. Oh, Postal says I enjoy and Gen X growing up too, but he also gets a lot of free stuff from Atari. I know. I personally have a lot of stuff on order from them, and it keeps getting pushed back. I feel you, dude. I didn't even think of that. He does get a lot of that stuff, but I mean, he does a really good job with what he's doing. Hands down, Nintendo creates solid games for everyone, especially the younger generation. Nintendo, in my book, is not going anywhere. Yeah, like we were talking about in my lack of physical media video we did earlier this week or last week, I can't remember. Nintendo knows what they do well, and they just fucking stick to it. In fact, they beat the fuck out of it, like the dead horse. How many times can you buy Super Mario Brothers from '85? But people keep buying it, and they keep fucking putting it out there. So until someone stops fucking throwing the almighty dollar at it, they're just going to keep finding a new way to repackage it. And people accept it. And I think that's why I always pick on Nintendo. It's like the fucking, it's like I got nothing against the fucking Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. It's the fans. It's the fans that are obnoxious. Not to say Patriots fans aren't fucking obnoxious. Boston guys are just obnoxious to begin with anyway. Rich says yep. Retail is dead, man, and it's sad. I went to go ship a package to DJC yesterday. And I'll admit it was a hundy in my pocket because, I'm fucking baller. I sold my hat out to get that 100. Notice it's not there anymore. I'm getting rid of stuff. Don't feel bad for me. That's why a lot of my shit's in boxes over here, and I have to reconfigure this room because now things are happening. I'm breaking my life down to its core. But yeah, I was there, and they didn't have the change. I'm like, how come though? And the clerk I wasn't even fucking dealing with starts losing his shit with me. I'm like, I just asked a question, man. Calm the fuck down. So I went across the street to the Shaws and bought a candy bar. And I went back and I went to the same lady I dealt with the first time. And I gave her the candy bar and said, can we ship this now, please? And she just laughed at me. And the other dude wouldn't even look at me. And I said that, I'm like, what, you don't want to fucking look at me now? She didn't think I was coming back? Guy fucking lost it. All I said was, oh, you probably should. I don't understand why not. And one of the excuses is not too many people have cash anymore. That's not true. I don't like carrying cash. I'll admit that, but I always have some on me, It's not, I don't think it's, if we get rid of cash, think of it like physical media. It literally is the exact same thing, except it could be life or death for you. Ooh, it's coming down to a thrift store, an online sales Facebook marketplace. What are we talking about there? Let me back up a little bit here. Thrift store prices are, okay, I'm sorry. Thrift store prices have been getting crazy for a long time, Mr. Shaw, at least around here. I was at we have a Salvation Army and a Savers on the same strip of highway, Route 1. And I was at the Salvation Army, and there was a guitar there. It was a Telly-style guitar from, it's just whatever company, but I was kind of impressed by it. And they had $200 listed on it. I'm like, you know what? This thing feels like a $200 guitar, but I wanted to look it up because I didn't know the brand. And the guitar was selling brand new for $175. So I brought it up to the lady, and she's like, well, it's fucking for charity. I'm like, all right. All right. I just walked away. You can't argue with that. I mean, you can, but I'm not gonna. Oh my God. In the future, where Sony and Microsoft get crushed under their own weight and drop out of the gaming biz, it's just back to Nintendo versus Atari. And it's funny. I don't know if you could even, They're not even on the same planes. They both make video game stuff, but yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother whatever. Brock Frazier, welcome in. I don't know if I've seen your name before. Welcome. Atari sells paddles with a paddle game collection. Yes, I do know that. I really do kind of want that. Anytime I can find a new way to experience paddles, because they're technically new, right? I will jump on it. Providing there's enough live pins for the controllers into the 2600 plus. It could support the Intellivision games, cartridges, and you are a different issue. Yeah, cartridges are tough. You know, the simple way to do it is just make a machine that sucks it from the ROM or the cart. Yeah, I don't know. But I do like paddle games. But I think if they make like a little HDMI Intellivision, they'll figure out the controller situation. They would have to. Worst case scenario, you put a number pad on the consoles, and then you just have I don't know. I really don't have a solution for that. I don't know better. But yeah, we're in fucking weird times, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, fucking whatever. Whatever. And this is really a big case of just when you think it just can't get any weirder. It can't get any weirder. So I guess my question to you guys is, going back to Papa Pete's stream from earlier, if you have an egg in this basket with the Amico, does the fact that the name, the branding won't be on that piece of plastic bother you at all? I really want to know. I really want to know. Paddles kinky, absolutely. Absolutely loosely. You know what? So when I was a kid, we had this thing called the brush, and it was literally, it was this big plastic paddle that had a brush on it, and it said the brush. And when Mom said, go get the brush, it was a bad day. It was a bad day. Shit's getting weird. Part Infinity. Auto, 100%, man. Who's Papa Pete? He's a guy who's got a YouTube channel. A Canadian cat, comes down to Boston all the time. I've never met him in person. I hope next time he comes into town, I can buy his family some Santapios. But, yeah, just look up Papa Pete's Game Room, I think it's called. Papa Pete something or other. He's got one of the coolest intro songs, I'll tell you that. But if you never watched Papa Pete, he's a really nice guy. Really nice guy. Huge into OG Intellivision. And he's really big right now in collecting original Xbox games. He's trying to complete it. So, he's trying to 100% complete it. End stage capitalism, yeah. Right? You see what I'm saying? It takes a little bit out of it. I don't know. It was the right decision. I can't say it wasn't the right decision. But seriously, guys, let me know. Let me know. Does the fact that the Intellivision branding will not be on the console bother you? Because I thought that was a very interesting topic that Cyrus brought up. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, hold on, guys. Slow down. Is that George Games? I believe we did this once before. Do I pronounce the Q? I'm just going to call you George Games, and if you'd like to correct me, by all means. There's a bittersweet nostalgia that will be missing. Yeah, Amico branding is what it was important. To me, it was too until the controller came into it. You know what I mean? I'll still gladly take my console, but you're right. It just won't have charm anymore. You know? It loses a little something, a little luster. You know, a little bit of the glitters. Jeff says, I can play Atari on my Intellivision and my ColecoVision, and I don't get the big deal. Yeah. Wait, Intellivision had an adapter too, huh? That doesn't get talked about too often now, does it? No Sweat Gamer, what's going on, buddy? Just stopping by to say hi for a moment. Crazy day. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. I haven't seen your video yet. I've been a busy boy today. I've been trying to scrape through everybody's, but I'll get to it, I promise. I'll get to it. Just to let you know, bro, I am there all the time. I just don't want shit starting in your comments, so I choose not to. But I still consider you one of the greatest resources on the internet. And though we don't speak as much anymore, man, I still hold you very high in my heart. So don't think I'm not there. I'm there, man. Hey, Wolf, what's going on, man? I guess we're going to see the Intellivision Plus. We were talking about that. Yeah, that would be awesome. But again, I don't think they could call it Plus because Intellivision only had one, one console. Whereas the 2600 Plus is because 7800 was on there. I'm down with the original look, honestly. Right on. Right on. I can appreciate that. Everyone's saying, yeah, everyone say hi to No Swear Gamer. Good dude. Really good dude. Highly connected. Let's see. They highly connected the Intellivision name to the Amico. Yeah. So it definitely loses something. Yeah, it really does. And I think they're right by not taking on the console, though I think they could have gotten it done. We'll see. We'll see what happens, though. I hope the day gets better, No Swear Gamer. Yeah. Yeah, my man. Yeah, my man. Yeah, I still have cards to send. Actually, you know what, No Swear Gamer, before you go, hopefully you're still here. I belong to a, everything's free group from my local town here. And this dude had a giant box of cards. And I swear to God I messaged him and I thought about you. It was going to come your way. I know I got that little pile of cards, but I was hoping to add to it so it would be a worthwhile package to send. And then time got behind me and then someone moved them and I forgot about them. But I saw that card now. It's just that box of cards. I'm like, oh, I got to get this over to this cat. But they were gone before I got there. Yeah, well. It makes the box games more valuable now. That's true. I didn't even think of that. I got those right behind me over here, actually. In my 3D printed Amico game, physical product, 3D printed doohickey here that I was trying to sell, but I just couldn't make it happen. I was going to try to get a whole bunch of these out there, and everybody wanted them. And I felt awful, but the print time and the quality, it just wasn't to standard. And I would never have been able to. What I tried to do was make like 25 of them and then sell those out. And then I was actually going to get a second printer and bang out a bunch more, plus other things I was working on, But it didn't, it just didn't happen. I felt bad because a lot of people really wanted one. And I still have a few here that weren't like to par. Like in that package I sent to DJC, I sent one to him, and I think I just gave one to somebody else. I can't remember. But yeah, I guess. Unfortunately, they're kind of just like cardboard, cool looking cardboard, but yeah, it's part of the fun of all of this, I don't know that they'll make an Intellivision Plus, but I think Atari will realize Night Stalker Cloudy Mountain. Yeah, I hope they do. I really do hope they make a compilation. And Moon Patrol. Let's keep that in the universe. So when you say stuff like Cloudy Mountain and Night Stalker, let's use the word Moon Patrol and let the universe know it needs to exist. 21 Creeps up in here. No shit. No shit. Right on. Well, whether you're here for fun or you're here to be a jerk, you're welcome. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, that's it. I don't think I have anything much more I want to say. Hopefully the games will come out and the guys, the OG guys here, will get things going too for them. As much as I don't like it, it was the best option. It was the best option. I'm a poo-poo guy. I get it. And I hope my buddies don't, whatever, but they knew going into this that I wasn't gonna mix words at all. In fact, when Phil called me about receiving this, I was wicked reluctant, but he did say one of the reasons because I know you'll be bluntly honest with me. So, plus he wanted my family to get involved with it, and he was looking for that aspect of it. He wanted to see how my exact family demographic was, because I had teenage girls here, younger teenage girls. And he's just like, I'm curious. Plus, it was a thank you, too, I'm sure. But on that Atari vid you posted about The mini games, I really was hoping he played Midnight Resurgence. Remind me later. Remind me next time we do our thing. About the mini games. Can you refresh my memory, Richie, on what that is? On the Atari vid you posted about the mini games. See, I'm serious. When I tell you guys my memory, if it's not a current thing, I can't tell you how many times I've gone into my list of videos and went, when the fuck did I make that video? And I'll watch it and be surprised by it. Or embarrassed. Oh, man. I lived a tough life, and unfortunately, the noodle's paying for it. Can you sell the files for? Oh, yeah, I have no idea. Okay. So I had the files on my Etsy shop, but I shut my Etsy shop down because reasons. I have the file up there for $10. And yeah, maybe I'll reopen the store and just leave that there. I don't know. I got an itchy ear, but No Swear Gamer says IRM owns the Moon Patrol IP. Oh, that's right, huh? So they maybe require updated licensing. You think Atari could probably pull that off, though, right? How are they with their licenses? Do you know, No Swear Gamer? Are they tight with them, or are they the type that says, "Hey, we have something cool and we'll accept money for it"? Hopefully, it's one of those, and Atari takes it serious. Because Moon Patrol was a pretty common staple for the Atari 2600 anyway. Shit, I have like 3 cartridges of them, and one of them has like a little mini model kit that I put together from RK. Actually, it came from you, that I believe came from Willie, that came from RK. Yeah, that's right. You hooked me up with that No Swear Gamer. That was such a fun kit to build. I loved it. Think Wade will buy and bring back Kmart next. Yeah, dude, I like Kmart, man. I miss it. I miss Kmart. They always had a particular smell after they got rid of their little food court thing. Oh, man. Had the arcade a few years back. Fully. Oh, shit, everything keeps jumping. Oh, no. Where did you go? Oh, man. It was in an elevator action cabinet. Right on. I've never owned a cabinet. There's plenty of times I could have gotten like a free empty cabinet. But I look at something like that, I'm like, where would I put it? Where would I put it? Blue Light Special. You know what? Me and my buddy used to have this joke, our Blue Light Special comb. Because they did the Blue Light Special and they had a comb. So we bought our Blue Light Special comb and always kept it in our back pocket back when that was a cool kid thing to do. When you did the playthrough, 2 vids back. Okay. Ask the question later. I'll refresh my memory. Fun, jerk. A little from the column A, a little bit from column B. Last I heard, Kmart is still big in Australia, really. I know they still exist in one way or another. No, that's cool. I'm glad they are. A legacy brand like that. I mean, I don't know how it was in your area, but it was actually kind of looked down upon to go to Kmart, but everyone still went to Kmart. It was so weird. Or Caldor. We had a Caldor, an Ames, and a Zayres, all in the same little area. And then Kmart down the Fellsway. You take a left on Main, and it's right there in that next plaza. Next to the PJ's Pets. And the Stop and Shop. I'm in the theater right now. Watching Garfield, 3rd movie today. Are you just sneaking from movie to movie, bro? We used to do that. Atari is more likely to buy an AP than license it. Yeah, no, you're right. They're like sharks, but like nice sharks. The kind that like apologizes for eating you. I miss the Big K and the Sears. Dude, the Sears that I grew up with, the building is still there. It still looks like Sears. It's old as hell. And I have to drive by it like all the time. I have to cut through its parking lot to get to, my Kmart. I mean, where Caldor used to be. It's a Tajay now. But yeah, I miss. But I mean, when was the last time I ever shopped at a Sears too? You know, when they closed, I was all bummed out. But then I think it was my girlfriend. She had said, "When was the last time you went to Sears to buy anything, bro?" And I was like, "You're right." What it is I miss nostalgia going to the second floor to the electronics section and look at all the Atari stuff and all the television stuff. And I don't remember seeing Nintendo in there. I'm sure it was, but I used to get my Nintendo stuff at Child World, and that's pretty much where I went from there on. Oh man, this was in 2021. What was that? Okay, lived in Chico for 5 months. I don't know what Chico is. I'm sure it's a town. They had a Kmart abandoned. Oh really? I love abandoned places, man. Shit was rad inside. Still stands and everything. That's cool. You know, there was a movie theater over by where that Sears is. It used to be more of a shopping plaza. Then they tore most of the plaza away and made it a fucking mall. The Square One Mall. That one, the guy who was going to punch me in the face and shoot me and my family thinks that works. But there was like a two-theater movie theater, and they shut that down. And me and my buddies used to party in there. It was such a creepy place, but it was fun. It was fun. Mexico still has Sears. Sears is still around. You know what's so weird about Sears? Think about Sears' history, okay? They were like the number one. They started the catalog business thing. I mean, you could buy everything from Sears. Houses. You could buy houses. Build your own house. It was like a model kit. In fact, Melrose here has a couple. And when the internet came out, I would have thought they would have been the first people to embrace that. And I think they just kind of dragged their feet on it and didn't take it too seriously, thinking that their legacy status would save them. And I think that's what a lot of their downfall was. Had they treated it like they did their catalogs back in the old Wild Western days, they probably would still be a contending force. Would they have been able to with Amazon? I don't know. If it were to happen, that'd be the only way we would know. But I think they would have been able to stick around if they just embraced the internet early and just basically remodeled their catalog to the online fucking vibe. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a businessman, but I know I miss my Sears and Roebuck. No, oh shit! Everything keeps jumping. Rich says, "No, I pay. Risky to move hop these days. The seat check with a device. Oh, really? That's weird. Okay. All right. Well, they're putting electronic thing. They're removing all of our movie theaters. The ones I grew up with, they're gone. You know, Revere Showcase Cinema. That's where I saw almost everything when I was a kid. Or that little two-theater one. Oh, they mowed down the building that was once Montgomery Ward's. There's a name from the past, from my childhood. Now it's just a bunch of those ugly luxury apartments. God, I can't stand that. My town is starting to do that. They're knocking down like old grocery stores at like one level and making these monstrosities. And the great thing about living in the city I live in, it's not like a city. It's like a really large town. And now they're starting to build upwards. The city doesn't have the resources to handle the people that are here now. And they're inviting more people. And there's no parking. They're building all these super duper condo buildings with no parking. Yeah, it's right next to a choo-choo. I don't know. No Swear Gamer says, as a kid, my mom stopped at the very first Kmart in Garden City. Oh, right on. Shopped, not stopped. My apologies. I still have memories of eating in the food court. That food court, the popcorn smell, man, that was so good. And there was just something about the cups, the waxy cups. And browsing toys and electronics. All right, so guys, get this. My absolute favorite thing to do at a Kmart was during Halloween. They always got the good Halloween cassettes and records. There was this one line from this one company down in Pennsylvania. And unfortunately, they would use some kind of... Sometimes they would like put stuff like 666 Mockingbird. I'm not really into the whole satanic crap. My dad was a minister. I lived through the satanic panic, and I can't stand that stuff personally. I mean, if it's your jam, no disrespect, but come to Jesus. But they had like a night in the graveyard and a night in a cemetery. Or, I mean, a night in the graveyard and a night in a haunted house. Used to be two separate records, but they made it two cassettes. And they always had the best Halloween cassettes and records, and that was my favorite thing to do at Kmart. My friend's favorite thing to do there was steal cassettes and see how many he can get away with it. Like actual music cassettes. Like, you remember when they had those big long plastic things that they had to use a security thing? He would grab a whole bunch in a fan. I remember once he grabbed the entire Iron Maiden catalog and just held it to the side of him. And he just walked out the... I mean, they caught him, but... I was like, dude, you're so stupid. Only the best Schlitz. My buddy has a Schlitz light thing. Choo-choo that goes around. That's twice I've sent choo-choo. There's a whole subculture devoted to finding all the Sears prefab homes in the wild. I can see that. If you know any of them, tell them to look around the Mount Hood area of Melrose, Massachusetts. One of them is there. It's a brick house. And it's weird because it's built like this. Like the basement is above the ground. And then the house does that. It's so bizarre looking. But it's registered as one of those Kmart houses. So Kmart, the first place I ever bought a Motu figure. I got the He-Man Battle Cat box. My birthday. Then got birthday money. And I bought Skeletor in Kmart. Right on, man. What a fun memory. Hey man, hobos can still build a Sears house out of them boxes from the online shop. And you know what? You're right. People have some ingenuity, you know? No Swear says, I read some families use the Sears catalog for toilet paper in the outhouses back in the day. I'm sure they did. I mean, they were just that old tiny paper. I don't think it would disrupt too much going on down there. That's resourceful. I know a lot of dudes, when I was in Arizona, there's a lot of land where they used to be things. And these cats would find where the outhouse was. And they would dig and find bottles. Because what would happen is the dude would come out with this whiskey bottle, and he'd sit down to make a smash, and then when he was done with the bottle, he'd put it in the thing too. And that's how they collect their bottles in the old poo pit. I mean, of course, it's not poo anymore or whatever, but... pretty cool stuff. I still have a cousin who lives in a Sears trailer. Right on. I don't think I've ever seen a trailer from them, but yeah, they sold everything. All the Sears stores near me are gone, and JCPenney is barely hanging on. You know, we do have a JCPenney around here. We should just call it Pennies, though. Oh, man. Wait, are you from Garden City, Michigan? Uh-oh. You got a stalker, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Because one of my buddies is from there. Okay. Richie says, hell yeah, dude. Plastic racks. Absolutely. I don't know. Kmart always had great Halloween stuff. They really did. You know, when I moved back here, the Kmart that is in the area here that we were talking about earlier, I went there on Halloween. And it wasn't the same. Place didn't even smell the same. And I bought a lot of music cassettes there. I got a handful of stuff from Kmart. From Sears, too, you know. And then we had a magazine place. So we would go to PJ's Pets and we would buy a goldfish. And then we would go to, Kmart and do whatever nonsense we're going to do in Kmart. And then we go across the parking lot to Papagino's and get a slice. And then we go down that plaza to this, I can't remember what the place was called, but it was a newsstand basically. And get my Fangoria magazine. And there used to be an IHOP, a separate IHOP building there, but they closed it down because there was a gangland shooting there, the old school Italians, 83, I think. This poor guy was just having breakfast, and these guys just sat out there, like you would see in the movies. And then people stopped going there, and they just tore the building down. Oh, man. Started my Godzilla VHS collection that came out. Right on. Shit, JCPenney still exists. It does here. You know what I miss? Ann and Hope. I actually lived in a town called Cumberland, Rhode Island. And that area, across the street was the old Ann and Hope Mill. And it turned into an outlet store, And where we lived was like the village where the mill people lived. So it was a pretty cool, little historical area. I think it's called the Blackstone Valley, but it's Cumberland, Rhode Island. But they have an old Ann and Hope building there that was like old mill. And it just had a really rad vibe. But I don't know how far Ann and Hope got out of New England, but I'm going to say it was primarily a local thing. We had one in this town called Peabody at the Liberty Tree Mall, not the North Shore Mall, because there's two of them kind of in that area, and I don't even think Liberty Tree even exists anymore. But then we had that one that I was just talking about in Rhode Island. Pretty cool stuff. The last thing I got on Ann and Hope was the cassette, which was basically an advertisement, a VHS, for Fear Farm. It's a Halloween thing that happens every year. But their very first year, back when Kane Hodder and Tom Savini was still involved. Like Tom Savini had his own haunted house there. It was in a town called Berlin, Mass. And the fire marshal hated them. Fire marshals hate haunted attractions. I can't tell you how many times we would get shut down, the ones I worked at. As a matter of fact, the thumbnail, that sweatshirt I'm wearing, that's a Fear Farm shirt from Arizona. I used to work there. I did some of their prop work and stuff. But yeah, no sort of says, I'm sure I got G.I. Joes, GoBots, and He-Man figures from that Kmart. Right on. Right on. This went from an Amico thing to a fucking dead brand thing. It's awesome. I'll shut up there. I'll shut up there. I don't think anything's dead. It's just 2600 Plus has a USB-C data port, so the system changer is very doable. Okay, I don't know tech stuff like that. I know hardware for the most part, but on software, you got me lost, man. Changing the 2600 into an Intellivision. But then we're starting to talk about the Brock Fraser saying this. Then you start worrying about the controller. There's a handful of games you can use without the Intellivision controller, but I believe the majority of them used it in one way or another, That's all right, though. Fire marshals hate everything. Yeah, they really do. Rightfully so. I mean, they're just doing it. They're trying to keep you alive. Think about what a haunted attraction is. It's a fucking death trap. It's a death trap. Sorry, some crazy stuff happened growing up. But never heard about that. Okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Cool. Fair, still cool. Yeah, you guys are talking. Jeffrey, what's going on, old man? I went to our last Kmart in Syracuse a few years ago. I was so sad. Definitely not the same. No, you know what? Department stores, just like everything else these days, they just kind of blend into each other. There's no charm in anything anymore, really. I really think this world is dead. I think this world's soul is dead. I really wish Gabriel would sound the horns. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I hate to be that kind of a guy, but I absolutely despise how this world... And it's ironic because I first was talking about the Amico in this very room with this thing behind me. And I had a conversation in the early days of Tommy. And I believe one of the things we were talking about was the pandemic was just starting to become a real bad thing, And we both said to each other, let's hope, and the lockdown had just started. And we were like, we hope we come out of the other end with some humility and humanity. Ironically, the topic and the person I was speaking to just correlates, but I do too. I really wish we came on the other side with better values, And I'm not talking about political values. I'm just talking about values in general. I don't know. Stacy, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hit me with your hardware, Chris. Oh, my God. Hey, I got it wrong. Great stream. Thanks, No Swear. I really appreciate it, bud. It's great seeing you, man. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you. The thing that had me trusting Tommy was he was a local guy. Yeah, Tommy's a good dude. You may not like him because of whatever, and I kind of get the personality. It comes with being around here and knowing guineas, Hopefully I don't get shut down by saying guinea. Too many pussies in this world. I guess the world needs them. But I know 100 Tommies, the personality. And I can see where people in other regions can be fucking totally put back by that. and straight up thinking it's like an offensive on them, But he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He really is. Shit just happen the way they happen, and it's unfortunate. I still consider him a friend. I really do, and I wish him well. Soon only Amazon will be left. Yeah, I fucking hate Amazon. I really do. Especially if you're a collector. Oh my God. Motu. Go ahead. Order a Motu figure from them. See what it comes packaged in or how it comes packaged. I've yet to get anything. Not that I open my stuff. I play with it. So I do. I still play with things. Not in the way I did when I was a kid, but like I keep little toys and trinkets around me and I fidget with them and stuff, but yeah, they suck. They don't care either. They'll just be like, money back? Okay, here you go. And you just really wanted the figure in a nice collectible, displayable fucking condition, man. Oh my God. I worked for Amazon part-time during the holiday season for a little while I was still working at the prison, believe it or not. And I ended up popping my knee and just leaving. Well, it was actually more of a debacle than that, but you should be a haunted house engineer. I worked for haunted attractions, buddy. I did. It's just really, it's not a sustainable thing. It's only seasonal. I had a dream of owning my own, and making that my career, but it just never happened. I come from a world where you build everything, haunt-wise. I did it in my front yard first, and I did that all through growing up. And that's where I get my prop making and artistic, I guess, flair from. I always decorated for Halloween. Like, I would build these big elaborate things. Now, whether or not they looked great or not, that's, whatever. I was a kid. But as I got older, I learned new things, and I learned this, and I learned what monster mud was, and this technique, and how to transform this into that. And haunted attractions were very much like that. You were in pickup trucks on the weekends, driving around looking for scraps. You were looking for couches and chairs and TVs and broken washing machines and anything you could put into a scene, drywall, paneling. Such a pain in the ass. Now everything's purchased. Everything's, purchased by a big major company with these big fucking animatronics, which is cool because things need to evolve with the intellects of the time. What was somewhat scary in the 60s ain't gonna be scary now, or in the 70s and the 80s. Although look at some of the art from the 70s and 80s, even the 60s. Real creepy stuff. Real creepy stuff. I will never order anything from that hellhole. Right on, man. The Amazon slaves need to wake the fuck up. They really kind of do. I mean, if you gotta just... You feel for people who work for stuff like that because they're just feeding their families. They're just feeding their families, Sears honestly could have become Amazon. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. If they had just taken their almost a century-old catalog skills and jumped into the internet on the early days and just literally... Yeah, they could still be around, Jeffrey. Obviously you prefer Jeffrey, so I'll call you Jeffrey. The only reason I was a little hesitant about that is because of a Bill Cosby skit. Every time I see or hear the name Jeffrey, I can't help but think of, stop it, Jeffrey, come on, Jeffrey, get down here, Jeffrey, gotta stop it, If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Some Amazon workers are unionizing. It takes time to fight the power. Yeah, and depending on where you are, the unions can help. Like in Arizona, when I was in Arizona, we didn't have a correctional union. In fact, Arizona is what they call a right-to-work state, which means... Jeff is good. No, that's cool, man. Whatever. I'm just having fun. But that just means here in Massachusetts, the employee has the rights. It takes a lot for the employer to have the upper hand in a court of law when it comes to an employee-employer relationship. Same thing with like landlord and tenant and stuff like that. It takes forever to evict somebody in Massachusetts. Or at least it used to. In fact, there were people that would make a career, not a career, but you know what I mean? That's how they would live. They would rent a place and then just not pay, and they'd get to be there for like almost a year, if not longer. And then when the courts tell them to get out, they get out and they do it again. But now it's harder to do that because now that you can run numbers and shit and get in credit scores and all that stuff. But fuck, I don't even know what I was talking about to begin with. But the employee right to work thing, they don't even have to have a reason to fire. When I had my sandwich shop, if I just didn't like the way someone looked, I could have been like, get the fuck out of my store. Get out of here. You are no longer required. So getting a union to work out there was a little tough. We did unionize a little bit, but in all honesty, in a correctional situation, it was really only for legal representation. Honestly. Because there are times where if you're in a use of force, you got to put your hands on people. I fucking hated that. Well, okay, in my first couple of years doing it, loved it. I used to be a fighter. I loved it. I fucking loved it. I was a horrible person when I was younger. I really was. But I fucking loved throwing my mitts. I really did. Win, lose, or draw. So, of course, corrections, I was like a fucking cowboy. And then I learned I just got burned out quick doing that. But so I just started I started using my mouth and my noodle. And it worked out. People were like, dude, you should sell fucking cars. Convince anybody to do anything, Psychological warfare is not hard if you really know what to look for. If you know how to use body language and selective speech, so to speak, empathetic and eyes and hands and all the stuffs. But, yeah, I don't know. We tried to unionize, but if you end up using force and someone gets hurt and the law gets involved, they were good for having a lawyer on call 24 hours. But in Arizona, lawyers were just as useful as an asshole. I mean, union was asshole right here, Are you still awaiting the Amico and super excited about it? Yeah, I'm fucking pumped, bro. I can't wait to get mine. I can't wait to get mine, and your mom and I can be here fucking playing Astro Blast together. That'd be fucking great, bro. Fucking love it. Of course I'm excited to get my Amico. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about Sears. Pay attention, young man. The old intro. A lot of psychological nudity. Dude, I still have that on my phone. I thought about bringing that back. I only did that because of that, and I don't even remember what it was called now. But you remember when something about little kids being exploited on here came about, and some organization came down on YouTube so that they were coming down hard on all kinds of shit. And we were all scared to just speak freely. So I put that at the beginning, basically saying, look, this is not for kids. Thank God that little button down below. There's a thing saying that, no, this is not for children. Which is funny because it was a running joke with some of the Amico stuff that when I was doing the videos, they're like, make sure you hit that button with your filthy mouth. And it was joking. It was all joking and everything. What's the ETA? Well, you're going to have to pay me for that because I'm an e-beggar. You give me $100 and I'll tell you exactly when they're shipping. Either that, you fuck yourself. No, in all seriousness, I don't mean to pick on you needlessly or be a dick. I know you're here to be a dick, but I honestly don't know. You know what? I don't know. We all know the answers to these things, so let's not fucking be a child about it, okay? Let's not be a child and keep beating dead fucking horses because I guess you get nothing better to do but to worry about what other grown men do, right, buddy? Am I right, buddy? Fucking kid. Richie, if I have to fight for where I work, I'm out. Fuck that shit. Unions are mobsters. Yeah? Yeah, you know what? Okay, so I have a very unpopular opinion. I'm not a fan of unions, though I've been a part of 2 correctional unions, like legit ones. And believe it or not, I was a Teamster once. And I believe in what unions are for. I really do. And God bless them. Because a lot of things could be a lot more fucked up without them. However, what I experienced in all 3 of the cases And again, I'm excluding the one in Arizona because that sucked. That was garbage. That was garbage. They were all corrupt fucks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just 1638. They were, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. Fuck. Hopefully, I didn't just spill out the wrong union number. my apologies in advance, but it was fucked up, man. It was really fucked up. It looked like it turned grown people into little fucking babies. Like, if you worked for the state of Massachusetts, at least in corrections, you had to sign off on procedures, or you couldn't complete the task. But if you didn't sign off on them, you weren't around for long. Union, all that stuff. So I remember one day, this one dude was asked to fucking sweep the floor. And he's like, do you have a procedure for me to sign off on that? And they're like, well, no. He's like, fuck, then I ain't doing it. And he walked away. And that's the type of mentality I can't stand. They're wonderful when they're working how they're supposed to work. But in a lot of ways, it's fucking dirty. It really is fucking dirty. I got injured. God, one night I had this. Okay, so I had log duty, which meant you had a fucking log. You know what I mean? All fucking night long. Inmate so-and-so, inmate so-and-so, fucking this, that, and the other thing. So it was the end of the shift, and I was working the overnights, and I'm doing the final, all was quiet for the night, blah, 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 And out of nowhere I hear, what the fuck did you say about my mother? Ironically. So I stood up, and before I even got my head turned around, boom, stars. And I fell backwards, and what happened was my tailbone got bent a little bit. My doctor was like, if it broke, you'd probably be better off, but that's going to take a while to heal, and it's going to hurt. And it did. Holy God. I got one of those stupid little donuts to sit on. I felt like such a weirdo. And I'm a young man at this time, so I got fucking, I'm young, dumb, but full of cum. But the point is my union fucking rep would call me daily and be like, hey, dude, you're having nightmares, okay? And then he'd hang up. And then he'd call back and be like, pain and suffering. Remember those words. And then he'd hang up. And it was like that like every day for like 3 weeks. What he was doing is he was trying to get me, he was grooming me to get money from the state. He's like, yeah, dude, this is an instant $125,000. And then if we take it further, and I'm like, listen here, you stupid fuck. And I said it that way to him. If I ever truly need that money from an actual injury, if one of these fucks stick me in the neck and I'm paralyzed from the eyeballs down and I need that money, fuck, I'm not going to do that over something as stupid as my tailbone. It hurts. I'm getting workman's comp and union money. I'm being paid. I'm good. Let me just relax at home and play Mr. Mom, and I'll come back when I'm well. And he's like, you're a real fucking this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, why? Because I won't fucking rip the state off? Get the fuck out of here with your corrupt bullshit. And then I became outed a little bit, but I didn't care. I moved to Arizona shortly thereafter anyway. That was the Department of, not Juvenile Corrections. That was when I was working juvenile, but it was, they used to call it DYS, Department of Youth Services, but I think now it's called like Youth and Family Services. It's always hug-a-thug. It's always fucking hug-a-thug in these blue states. It's fucking crazy. Atari Creep, have you ever owned Sword Quest comics? Thoughts? Yes, I've never owned the rare one, but I've had the comic and, the cartridge and everything. I don't play them because they just don't seem appealing to me. It was more about the contests and everything. They don't seem like fun games to me. So I've never seriously put one into a machine and actually tried to play it. Maybe I should someday. Maybe I should, but... so I have owned, and I've kind of played around with it, but I've never actually just played it, right? I don't know. Let's see, what are we going to go on here? All I know is the Teamsters... there's a Simpsons episode where Homer gets a... Yeah, right? Worked for Safeway, unionized assholes. Well, you really don't like unions, do you, huh? Stop and Shop went on strike here. a few years ago. And I'll say this: I'll never pass a picket line, with a couple of exceptions. And unfortunately, this time it was one exception. My medicine was behind them, and I wanted my fucking medicine. And they did this whole fucking thing like this, right? I'm like, and I looked at them. I said, "Look, I'm an old union guy myself, and I'm totally backing you. But I need my medicine to be alive. So if you don't move, I'm going to consider this a fucking danger to my fucking well-being, and I'm going to act appropriately." And the cop looked at me, and he had this look on his face like, "Please don't." But he got it, and he nodded at him. And they just fucking opened up a little bit. And I said, "I apologize for breaking your line, but this medicine is important to my life." And they did. They let me in and out, and, hugs and kisses on the way out and everything, but I don't know. As long as unions are doing what they're supposed to do, I'm 100% for them, because without them, the employee can get completely fucked. Not that we don't now, but it used to be worse. I mean, you used to have to work like hours, and Henry Ford brought the 40-hour work week together. He said, "You know what? 8 hours a day is more than enough for these cats." He used to house them. He'd put people through school. We need to go back to the fucking Henry Ford way of employing people. But yeah, I've heard union job descriptions are brutal. Like they were a huge problem over there. Can you help out? Nope. Yeah. And see, I'm 50-50 on that one. I'm 50-50 on that one. I mean, yeah, you should be a team player, but don't do it because the union says I don't have to, so I'm going to be a douchebag. It's the attitude behind it, I think. There's plenty of really great unions and union members, card-holding members. I'm not trying to make them all sound like, douchebags, but honestly, yeah, I've had, it's left a sour taste in my mouth. It's like a bunch of grown men get pissed off over the stupidest shit. I can't tell you how many times when I was an adult, facilities, I'm never going to be an adult, that they would start threatening striking. I'm like, "Buckers, I need to feed my family. You fuckers go on strike. I'm starting to, don't you fucking dare." Until we absolutely need it. And they finally did after I left, but they took the ketchup out of the cafeteria. We're going on strike. We're going on strike. Whatever, man. DJC, what's going on, my man? Marty Flamingo, hello there. How are ya? How are ya? But, yeah, we'll hang out a few more minutes. We'll hang out just a few more minutes. The studio's warm. I don't have an air conditioner in the window yet. And like I was saying in the beginning, I actually tore it down because we have to rearrange a few things and get rid of all this Girl Scout stuff. That's why you haven't seen me in here for a while. So I literally just whipped up the table real quick to do this. Because the girls were they're baking cookies for some thing that's going on this weekend. I got a busy weekend. I got a dance recital. I have a chorus concert. And one of the girls are in the local Pops tomorrow. Youth Pops, Too much. I don't like fucking leaving my house. I fucking hate leaving my house. I fucking hate it. But yeah, what a crazy day, man. What a crazy day. DJC, I'm sorry that you missed everything, man. I'm sorry that you missed everything. It pretty much mirrored my video without being so dramatic. But to reemphasize for anyone who's here now, going back to today's video, please, once I knock the camera over, that's when I'm being serious. I'm still speaking my feels there, but I'm being exaggerative. And obviously, I didn't have a fucking meltdown over the stupid thing. But anyone who watches that video, please know, once the camera gets knocked over, I kind of figured that would be an obvious transition. So my final thoughts on the whole thing is I'm sad that the branding won't be on certain products. I'm happy that the games will still live on somehow. I'm excited to see what Atari does with it. And I know it was the right and smart thing to do. It's just, I liked them being separate little entities. And once they became together, it was like they were adults now doing adult business things. And it just kind of takes the shine off of it a little bit. But we're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to see what happens, and at least it gives us something to fucking yap about again. You know, aside from the dickhead channels. Actually, you know what? I'm friendly with a lot of the channels. I don't like to keep calling people dickheads. I'm friendly with just about everybody who has respect back, you know. You know, there are some people out there that just want to run their mouths and do stupid shit or whatever. Make comments like, you remember when you tried to yourself? Yeah, I was there, you fucking Riri. Of course I remember. You know, it's people like that, especially if they don't have their face on here. In order for me to be offended or upset by something you say, please understand I have to respect you as a person first. If I'm not getting upset by what you're saying when you're trying to upset me, it's because I think you're a fucking maggot. That's it. But yeah, with the video, the second half is what you really need to take from it. I'm not happy with this decision, but I know it's the right move. I know it's the right move to get things moving in different directions. And in the beginning of this, we talked about, you know, how I discovered it, and I wasn't reading Atari's thing, so there was some information in there that was a little off. So I did want to make that public, you know, correction here. Atari's not taking on the console, and I don't blame them. I think they could have done it, though. But hopefully there's some magic going on in the background. That is all I have to say. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any comments here, guys, because it's getting late, and I'm fucking sweating nuts. I might take a shower before I go to bed, you know. We'll see. I'm sweating bad here. Just done streaming Television Golf League. Right on. Were you with Go Game Go and all them, or did you do it over on... Because I heard Papa P saying something about going over there to play golf. Or did you do your own thing over on Rumble? I believe Atari will do Intellivision right, to be honest. Yeah, I was saying in Papa Pete's stream that I think they're going to milk it for everything it's worth, but I think they'll do it with respect, like they have been with Atari. They have their expensive consoles and cheap stuff and everything in between. And as long as they plan it that way, I think we'll be good. We'll be good. It's just sad seeing what we had fun with gone. That's all. But everything's changing, but nothing's changing, right? I'm sure a lot of you can back me up on that. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. This was a great stream. I really do appreciate everyone. Even the dude, Elbur, whatever the hell his name is, with the 50 fucking accounts. I even appreciate you coming in here and listening in the background. Probably fapping it, you know. Because I'm fucking gorgeous. I really am. I look at my lady and I say, I wish I was you so I could make love to me. If anyone knows that reference, I will send you a prize. If you know that reference, oh, you know what? You could Google it. You could Google it. Never mind. I'm taking that back. If you know the reference, then I'll be shocked. I'll be fucking shocked. I wish I was you so I can make love to me. Guys, wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. I really do. Everything's changing, but nothing changes. Until next time, take care. Creep it real. What did you say? I believe it's... Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you for...